Now let's come to the next question on parliamentary system. So the next question is, who among the following have the right to vote in the elections to both the houses of the parliament, which are Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha? It means who of the following have right to vote in both the houses of the parliament. First option is elected members of the lower house of parliament. Second option is elected members of upper house of the parliament. Third option is elected members of upper house of the state legislature. Fourth option is elected members of lower house of the state legislature. The correct answer to this question will be option D, that is elected members of lower house of the state legislature, because in their individual capacity, individual or personal capacity, rather we can say personal capacity, in their personal capacity as an elector, personal capacity as an elector from that constituency, they elect or they vote in the elections to Lok Sabha, and as being the representative or being the member of legislative assembly, being MLA, they vote in the elections to Rajya Sabha. So being the MLA or being the representatives of the people from their constituency, representatives of the people from their legislative assembly constituency, they elect and they vote in the election to the members of Rajya Sabha. So this is the so the correct answer to this question will be D. Answer D. Now let's discuss this question in great detail, or discuss the points given in this question in great detail. So let's talk about, as we know that Indian polity is federal in structure. It is based on, so Indian polity is federal. So India has a federal polity, so federal in structure, though we are quasi-federal or sui generis, but it is federal in structure because we have dual government, bicameral legislature, distribution of power, and all these things that make Indian polity federal in structure. So Indian polity is federal in structure, and it is based on British parliamentary system, British model of parliamentary system. So British model of parliamentary system, British model of parliamentary system having bicameral legislature. So this parliamentary in India has bicameral. So bicameral legislature, having bicameral legislature at the union level, bicameral union legislature, union or federal level. So union level we have bicameral legislature, and these two houses are so being the bicameral legislature, the union parliament or union legislature has two houses, one Lok Sabha, one Rajya Sabha, one house of the people and one council of states. So we have two houses, and the representatives of both the houses are called MPs. So the representatives in both the houses are called MPs. So there is no distinction in their nomenclature. So both are known as MPs, but the MPs or the representatives of the Lok Sabha are called MP to the Lok Sabha, and the representatives of the Rajya Sabha are called MPs to the Rajya Sabha. And how they are elected, let's talk about. So the MPs to the Lok Sabha, so Lok Sabha MPs are directly elected by the people, from the respective constituency. So the whole India has been divided into parliamentary constituencies, and elections is held, and elections are held, and the representatives or the members to the Lok Sabha are directly elected by the people from their respective constituencies, respective parliamentary constituencies. So the members to the Lok Sabha are directly elected by the people from their respective parliamentary constituencies. respective. So the members of Lok Sabha are called MPLS. They are directly elected. By the people, by the electors, directly elected by the electors from their respective parliamentary constituencies. Parliamentary constituencies. And the whole India has been divided into different parliamentary constituencies by the Delimitation Commission. So Delimitation Commission is set up and as per the requirement, and these Delimitation Commission set up by the Government of India delimits the boundaries and defines the boundaries of parliamentary constituencies. Delimits the areas as parliamentary constituencies, and based on this, the members, the electors in that parliamentary constituencies, and the electors from that parliamentary constituency, they elect MPs or representatives to the Lok Sabha, and these representatives are called MPs LS. And then we have Rajya Sabha. The first house Lok Sabha, second house we have Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha is the House of Elders, or also called Council of States, and the seats, the representatives, the allocation of seats to the Rajya Sabha are given in allocation of seats. Okay, one more thing, the members to the Rajya Sabha Lok Sabha are directly elected, and the method of election is first past the post system, FPTP, first past the post system. It means it is also called winner gets the all system, and this is also called winner gets the all system, and this is also the winner, one who get the highest number of valid votes, highest valid votes, he is elected and he is declared elected. So the member or the contestant getting the highest number of valid votes is declared elected. So highest number of valid votes. So the system of election to the Lok Sabha is directly elected. The members to the Lok Sabha are directly elected based on the first past the post system, and the first past the post system is also called winner gets the all system, or where in this system the contestant getting the highest number of valid votes is declared elected. So this is the thing. Now let's come to the Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha is also called House of Elders, and this is, in English it is called Council of States, and the allocation of seats in the Rajya Sabha has been given in Schedule 4 of the Constitution of India. Schedule 4 talks about the allocation of seats in the Rajya Sabha, and the manner of election is proportional representation system based on single transferable vote, also called plural vote system based on proportional representation. And who elect the members to the Rajya Sabha? The members to the Rajya Sabha are indirectly elected, so they are not directly elected by the, as in the case of Lok Sabha. So they are indirectly, the members to Rajya Sabha are indirectly elected by the members of legislative assemblies from the states. So the states to the members of legislative assemblies, and states and UTs having legislature. The members of the legislative assemblies of states and union territories having legislature. So all the states have legislature, but there are two union territories, Delhi and Puducherry. that have their own legislature. So the members to the union territories, legislature of union territories, and the members of legislature of state legislature or legislative assemblies, they elect the members of legislative assemblies from the states and the union territories having legislature. They elect indirectly based on the proportional representation, single transferable votes by the means of single transferable vote. They elect indirectly to the members of Rajya Sabha, and the members of Rajya Sabha are called MP, members of Parliament to the Rajya Sabha, MPRS, and their tenure is 6 years. The members of Rajya Sabha's tenure is 6 years, while the members of Lok Sabha's tenure is 5 years. And this is the thing that we have to know about this. Next thing that we have to know about that, the tenure. The tenure of Lok Sabha is 5 years. It means after every 5 years, the Lok Sabha is dissolved. So every 5 years, the Lok Sabha is dissolved. And the election to new Lok Sabha are held. And these elections are called, then general elections are held. These are called parliamentary elections or general elections. So the election to the Lok Sabha is called general elections, and it is held every 5 years because the Lok Sabha is dissolved. The tenure of Lok Sabha is just 5 years. After 5 years, it is dissolved, and new Lok Sabha is constituted by the way of general election. While the Rajya Sabha is a permanent chamber or permanent house. Permanent chamber. So Rajya Sabha is a permanent chamber. Why it is a permanent chamber? Because it is not dissolved. It is not subject to dissolution. So Rajya Sabha is not subject to dissolution. So Rajya Sabha is not subject to dissolution, but to maintain, because the members of Rajya Sabha do not retire. The members to the Rajya Sabha do not retire in one go. And to make Rajya Sabha a permanent house or permanent chamber, some mechanism has been provided. The mechanism is that 1/3 of the total members of the Rajya Sabha, they retire every 2 years. Every 2 years. It means after every 2 years, the 1/3 members of the Rajya Sabha, they get retired. But if we talk about 1/3, so 2/3 always remains. It means the majority always remains in the Rajya Sabha, and this is the reason that why Rajya Sabha has not been dissolved, and it is called a permanent chamber. So Rajya Sabha has not been dissolved since 1952 when it was first constituted, and since then it has not been dissolved, and this is the reason why it is known as permanent chamber. But Rajya Sabha also can be prorogued. So the sessions of Rajya Sabha can be prorogued. It can be adjourned, but it is not subject to dissolution. Adjourned, but it is not subject to dissolution. So Rajya Sabha can be prorogued. The sessions of Rajya Sabha can be prorogued. The sittings of Rajya Sabha can be adjourned, but Rajya Sabha being a permanent chamber, it can never be dissolved, and it is not subject to dissolution, because always a majority of members are there in the Rajya Sabha. Only 1/3 of the total members to the Rajya Sabha, they retire every 2 years. So the majority always remains, and this is the reason why Rajya Sabha is not subject to dissolution. While the Lok Sabha, being a temporary house, and it is dissolved every 5 years. When the tenure because the tenure of the Lok Sabha is 5 years, and every 5 years the Lok Sabha is dissolved, and when the Lok Sabha is dissolved, general elections are held, and in these general elections, these parliamentary elections, again a new Lok Sabha is constituted. One more thing that we have to remember is that though the normal tenure of Lok Sabha is 5 years, but at the recommendation of Parliament, Prime Minister, if Parliament recommend to the President can dissolve the Lok Sabha at any point of time. So President can dissolve the Lok Sabha